Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. We're back with another episode. We bring the heat. You know how it is. We're back with another episode. This week we talked about an update on the case with the Republicans shipping a bunch of migrants to liberal places. It's backfired yet again. The backfiring just keeps compounding. It's great.
Dude,
you love to see it.
It backfired worse than me screaming into the microphone, bro. It was nuts.
Then we talked about someone that transitioned to a man and then experienced a very manly issue and was like, no, wait, I didn't mean to transition to a man like that. Not in that way.
Exactly.
I don't want to be a real man. I just want to be a twink.
Well, no, exactly. They had a very man problem, which is that their partner divorced them and took half of everything.
No, I don't want to be a realistic man.
That was a joke,
I want to be a
people.
cartoon boy.
Don't take things I say seriously.
Anyway, then we talked about the movie Fear Street, Part 1, 1994.
Nice.
Netflix original. It's a great movie. It's nice, accessible horror, I think. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I strongly suggest checking out the series, especially since it's on Halloween. Since it's Halloween, is what I was trying to say.
Yes.
So watch the Fear Street trilogy. It's good.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
If you took out all the meat from your penis, you would have a Halloween.
Whoa! I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it, quite frankly. Anyway, there are timestamps in the description. So you can skip around if you want to skip a certain part, or if you just can't wait to get to a certain part. It's all in it's there.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. Subscribe on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to videos as well as updates on other projects I'm doing. Also, Discord link is in the description. I keep forgetting to plug that, but you can join the Discord. You can send memes and other things.
And
so
some other stuff. Yeah.
So that's all to say. Let's jump into it.
That's just hoppity hippity into the dirt.
So true.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Anyway.
We're gonna fucking beat this dead horse, dude. God damn it.
Anyway.
It's totally something I would do as president too. I feel like it's not just that he's 80, it's just that like I can see myself being in front of a bunch of people and trying to be like, okay, Gavin, now it's your time as president to say something inspiring. Hold that imaginary piece of paper.
And then you say,
ladies and gentlemen, we are all domestic terrorists.
Sorry, I had it on the wrong page. I say that, and then I say this.
That's what I'm going to say.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway.
No, I'm just going to call my.
And then I say this.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
In a row. Imagine 3 whole gaffes in a row.
Yeah, going for that combo.
No fucking gaps. Just 3, like
firing on all cylinders, or none of your cylinders, depending on how you look at it,
or like blowing out 3 cylinders.
Yeah.
In a row, and then your speechwriter is just like I wrote a whole thing.
Yeah.
All he had to do was look down and say it word for word.
Then he says
very
this.
Slowly.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
That would be my reaction to being Joe Biden's
I just want to get in front of the press and be like, ladies and gentlemen, we are all domestic terrorists.
Anyway, we have fun here.
We do.
We have fun here. But I got to address some misinformation that we spread on this show.
Like what?
Okay, so in our Incredible Hulk review, one of us mentioned, I'm not going to name names, but one of us mentioned that Lou Ferrigno is deaf. Like, completely.
Is he not deaf?
I looked into it.
Deaf.
I looked into it. I did hours of research, by which I mean I Googled it and then looked at the first result. Apparently, he has like hearing loss that he's had since he was like a baby or whatever, but he has like a colloquial, or not a
I know the implant,
cochlear
cochlear implant.
He has a cock implant that allows him to hear. So like you can like hold a conversation with them.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. This is where I got the idea that he's completely deaf from. I saw a review on the documentary.
My sources, I made it the fuck up.
I'm not Fox News. What are you talking about? Or the president, a former president of the United States.
Anyway,
not that one. I'm talking about the former one before the anyway guy.
Oh, the one that said this?
We have to keep our country gay.
Yes. So I watched a review on the documentary Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno.
Is that the one where he says that lifting weights is like coming for him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
A real thing that he said. I did not make that up. That's a real thing that Arnold Schwarzenegger said. I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, no. He also said in the documentary, which is completely false. Like he did not actually tell his mother this.
Okay.
Allegedly, when he was training for a competition, he heard that his father died, and I forget exactly what he said. But I was something along the lines of he either said to his mom that he doesn't fucking care,
Jesus, so
that he wouldn't be distracted for his competition, or he just never responded.
Wow.
So that he could. Now that was made up for the documentary. That never happened. But
which one of them said
camera.
this? Schwarzenegger or Ferrigno?
Schwarzenegger.
Okay, so he just made up that he is a heartless monster?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a weird piece of self-lore.
I want to point out that Pumping Iron is not a real documentary. It was all like scripted. It was all scripted.
But it's a real thing you can watch.
It's
I haven't
a real
seen
thing you
it,
can
but
watch.
From everything that I've heard about
scripted.
it's got to be entertaining.
I guess it is. You know, when I lift anything, I just ejaculate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing just the clip of him being like, "Yes, when I pump iron." I don't know how to do the voice. When I pump iron, it feels like I'm coming.
I think I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah. No,
man.
He lifts the weights and then he says this.
I'm gonna come.
That's me when I lift weights. So anyway, I just wanted to address that piece of misinformation. You know, I try to be intellectually honest here.
Yeah.
I don't want to get flagged by the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
I don't want to be accused of lying.
Yeah.
So whichever one of us said that Lou Ferrigno is deaf,
it was me.
Not going to name names, will face punishment.
It was me.
Whoever said that Lou Ferrigno is deaf will face a military tribunal.
So I was the one who made that comment. And Lou Ferrigno, I know you're watching.
And I know you're listening.
Apologize.
We know you're listening now.
That was unintentional. I did not mean to say it. I did not mean to imply anything. It's just because
we now know that you are, in fact, capable of listening to this show.
Fucking goddamn it. Anyway.
This is a message to Lou Ferrigno. Like and subscribe.
Stop! It's just that on Discord I can see Alex and he can see me. We have a camera thing. Which is why my brain thought that people watch this and not listen to it. Anyway, Lou Ferrigno, I know you're listening. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, before we thought you were just watching. Just reading lips, I guess. Anyway. You want to get something done, and did you ever have a dream that you
Oh, dude, if we could get Biden to like verbatim
come on the show,
ad-lib that. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Can we get,
let's get
hey gamers, can we get Joe Biden on the show?
Let's get the leader of the fucking free world here.
He can be leader of this podcast for a day.
He leads many things, but not our podcast.
Yeah, we don't recognize international law.
We don't recognize.
We operate purely on maritime law.
We don't recognize his authority.
The servers that host this show are in the middle of the ocean.
What are the people who don't believe in law? Not anarchists, but who don't.
I mean, anarchists, but yeah, sovereign citizens.
Sovereign citizens. Yeah, we're just sovereign citizens over here. We don't
Sovereign
acknowledge...
citizens are anarchists that can't beat you up.
Sovereign citizens are people who are anarchists, just not as badass.
Yeah. Now they're like state protection for me, but not for thee. That's basically what sovereign citizens are. They love living in a society until it minorly inconveniences them. I love it.
Yeah. They love living in a society until you have to, like, I don't know, register your car.
They love saying this.
We live in a society.
Until you have to, like, I don't know, not run over a grandma with your car.
Or
then it's all about
to
personal freedom.
Or until you have to show up for, like, for court.
Because you committed a crime.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, because they still show up for court.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, motherfucker.
But they still say, like, I'm a sovereign citizen, like it means anything. And like it's a magical incantation. It's great.
Which is why I've responded to this legal order to come to this place.
Yeah.
And tell you that I don't think you're real.
Anyway. Speaking of
Lou
the
I'm
law.
sorry.
Speaking of the law. So we mentioned a couple weeks ago that the Texas governor and the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis,
they're fucking?
They're fucking. It's official.
Dude,
they're together.
I knew it. They're totally gay.
They kiss each other on the cheek and the lips. And they
and
say,
the butthole.
I love you. And then they each grab one string of their mutual lamp that sits between their two twin beds. And they say goodnight. And then they pull the lamp cords and then the lights go out. And then they have sweet dreams together.
Sweet dreams together and about one another.
They also do human trafficking.
Yes,
they also,
that too.
A few weeks ago, did human trafficking to own the libs, and it failed immediately because the said libs were like, oh, this is a humanitarian crisis. We should set up like a makeshift shelter for these people.
Yeah.
For these people who did no crime other than try to seek asylum in the country that supposedly welcomes migrants.
They were like, oh no, we are in mortal danger in the country that we live in. Let's go north to the United States where I will not be in danger. And they came here and they said,
the country
hi.
of immigrants.
Yeah. And they were like, hey, I'm in mortal danger. Here are the receipts. I need asylum.
Yeah. And then Ron DeSantis said this.
Call a crackhead.
And then, so the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, and Ron DeSantis, they like bust migrants to like Martha's Vineyard. And like, I think
Didn't
a couple
we already
other places.
cover this?
We did cover this. I'm just laying the groundwork. So basically it failed immediately. They set up makeshift shelters. The Republicans expected the libs to just be as racist as they are and horrible as they are.
Well, and it's funny too because they expected like the libs to be like, what the fuck, man? We can't handle all these people. But in fact, they were like, no, you can keep them coming. Just give us a fucking heads up next time.
Yeah, it turns out we have, as the richest country on earth, we have the capacity to take care of some people.
Yeah, and it's weird too. Okay, and this is not a thing against illegal immigrants, but we still have a lot of homeless people that we could take care of as well.
We have
let's just take
more than enough resources to take care of both issues.
Yeah. Our
GDP is
like
that.
Trillions of dollars, motherfucker.
Yeah, let's do that instead of spending tens of millions of dollars just for a political stunt and also human trafficking.
Right. I mean,
like
honestly,
a useless political stunt, and two, like a real like crime against humanity.
Oh, for sure. Also, if I were a resident of either Texas or Florida, I would be writing the governor asking for my tax dollars back because that was not worth my money.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Like, they're wasting everyone's time and money and just fucking up these people's lives.
Yeah, and also, to the audience who's watching, audience that's listening, I should say.
Lou Ferrigno. I know you're listening.
Fuck off, Al. Anyway, it's not like they were like, hey, we're just gonna shuttle you up to Martha's Vineyard. They were like,
oh yeah, they also
hey.
lied.
They were like, hey, they have jobs and opportunities and ways to get you citizenship up there, knowing that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So, I guess we could all say here, hey, Greg Abbott, hey, Ron DeSantis, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and the last time we covered this, we mentioned that it has been brought to a lawsuit. There were lawyers hired. It's legal proceedings were about to proceed. But I have an update on it. So this is from GBH, WGBH.org. I think it's a local news station in Texas. Now, I have not read the article, so I don't know. It's a pretty short read, actually. I have not read the article, so I don't know any of the details, but I do know like the broad strokes of it. So basically, the Texas sheriff, or a Texas sheriff, this is what the headline says. Texas sheriff certifies the Martha's Vineyard migrants are crime victims, opening the door for special visas. So someone on Twitter, Mark Joseph Stern, summarized what happened here, said Texas law enforcement has certified that the migrants whom Ron DeSantis trafficked to Martha's Vineyard are victims of a crime, potentially qualifying them for U visa, which would allow them to stay in the U.S. for 4 years and apply for a green card in 3 years. So in this attempt to bus migrants to a place and have them die, I guess, in the attempt to like dunk on liberals and illegal immigrants, they helped a bunch of illegal immigrants in a roundabout way. Now, it's bad that they had a crime happen to them, but it's good now that they're facing, or they're getting something out of it, basically.
So I hate to be playing devil's advocate.
Have we ever considered the thoughts and feelings of the human traffickers?
No, that's not what I'm saying. So
think of the slave owner's perspective.
Get a bunch of fall guys, right? And have them set up a way to human traffic a bunch of illegal immigrants, but like a short distance, right? And just lie to them, right? Just lie to them, but it's not going to be terrible. Just so that they can have 3 years in the country.
Are you saying, are you giving that like as a pro-immigrant strategy?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if it works, I guess. You know?
Then just be like, hey, Biden, would you pardon this dude for human trafficking? Even because it wasn't about the human trafficking bit. It was about the getting them 3 years in the United States as being victims of crime.
Then he would say this.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Anyway. So like this Republican strategy of just busing people to liberals' front yards has backfired in the short term and the long term. It's great.
Yeah.
You'll love to see it.
It's just, ooh, have you ever seen someone like first shoot themselves in the foot and then RPG themselves in the foot?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here.
Like,
yeah,
okay. It's the epitome of that like Tom and Jerry like confusion meme where Tom is looking at the presumed camera and he's like,
yeah, it's like they tripped themselves and then in the process of getting up, they somehow fell into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
It's great. You'll love to see it.
I like to think that they were trying to dig a hole, but they accidentally stepped on the shovel that smacked them in the head.
Yeah.
And then they fell into the Grand Canyon. Lots
of cartoony antics going on here. It's great stuff.
Oh, dude. It's great.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes up in here.
Can we get more of this? Can we get more Republicans facing the consequences of their actions? It's great stuff. Actually, can we get get more of that?
On another note, so I find this hilarious. So the FBI and the DOJ are like, hey, Trump shouldn't get a special master for his the lawsuit with the whole sensitive information.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Trump is like, Supreme Court, help me.
It's like Thor calling Heimdall.
Dude,
Supreme Court, Help
Supreme
me.
Court, help me. By the way, like a part of me was like, I swear to God, if the Supreme Court is just like, he did hire us.
We are mostly Federalist Society appointees.
We owe him one thing. They didn't, and we're basically like, suck our litigious cock.
Yeah, just because what he did was so blatantly illegal that they could not possibly help him out.
No, I think the issue was like he just caught them at a wrong time. You see, he asked them to help him right in the middle when they were trying to figure out how to undo interracial marriage.
Yeah, they were already trying to do so many horrible things. Like, it would just be too much for them. It would be too much to add to their plate, to add a million and first horrible thing for them to do.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, he just reaches out in this, I would dare I say grandiose confidence, hubris, right? Of Supreme Court, I hired you.
It's entitlement. It's the same. It's the same thing where he was trying to say that he has executive privilege. He just thinks that he's entitled to not face consequences for anything he does.
Exactly. And it's weird how he's surrounded himself with people that are willing to go to jail for him.
Yeah. It's weird
mean?
that that's the guy that has that effect on people.
It's like someone
at least Ted Bundy was cute, you know? I could see how he could gain a following.
You know what? I'm a straight man. Ted Bundy was hot.
Yeah, especially when he's played by Zac Efron.
Okay, that's different. That's Zac Efron. And is he hot? Yeah, he's hot.
Yeah.
But, am I that guy? No.
He's golden retriever hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you just want to pet him.
Yeah, he's
You just want to give him treats.
Well, he's on all fours.
Yeah. Anyway, Donald Trump has
and booty shorts
that would go to jail for him.
It's just weird. So he reaches out to the Supreme Court expecting them to be you can't investigate the president, former president.
Because the documents were planted. Also, they had them filed a lot neater than they looked in that photo. Okay. And they were declassified because he thought that they were.
They were declassified, but even if they were classified, there wouldn't be an issue with us having classified documents.
Yeah.
Because executive privilege.
Yeah, and they weren't classified ever at all. They were... It's okay for me to sell the names and identities and locations of our foreign spies.
Oh, yeah, and the nuclear capacity of many of our allies.
Yeah, it's okay for me to sell those to Saudi Arabia because I do a lot of business with them. I mean, executive privilege, actually.
But, it just reaches out to the Supreme Court and is help me! And they're no.
No, we can't right now. Maybe later.
I have a thing tonight. I have to get ready for that.
We absolutely would if you just asked at a better time because we are mostly fascist.
Listen, Kavanaugh, he got himself in trouble with another girl.
Yeah, it's okay. He likes beer though.
It's okay. He likes beer. We've been through that.
Yeah.
But we're trying to work on making sure Anyway,
I want to move on to another segment. This is something that I've seen in my periphery for a week now, but there's this, I guess, so there's a small movement of what's called detransitioners. It's basically trans people that are also transphobic. So in this case, it's
okay. I need you to pause. Play that. Am I taking crazy pills?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
That's how you feel?
That's
So it's a person that transitions and they're I regret my actions. That means that no one should be allowed to transition. So Gavin looks very bewildered.
Because logically,
rightly so. He's very rightly bewildered.
I hate to be logically, Ben Shapiro, but there will be people who transition. There's 300 million people in this country, right?
Right.
Some of them will be trans.
Well, it's
right?
any
That's fine.
plastic surgery.
Right. Well, like, it's fine to be trans. I got no issue with that. There's going to be a percentage of those people who regret it.
Yeah.
Right? Just inherently, just because it's plastic surgery. And I just like, okay, yeah, maybe give some information, because it's been shown to be maybe a slight issue with people regretting it afterwards.
Like, from what I have heard, doctors do like talk it through with their patients.
Yeah.
They
like,
lay out.
Sure.
So like, hey, if you go on testosterone, your hair will thin. You might go bald a little bit. More on that later. And they go over, the effects of estrogen and all that. And you're supposed to make an educated decision, just like with any other like medical procedure.
Yeah.
And I wanna lay this out before we get any further into it. This doesn't happen to children. Children don't like they don't get top surgery or bottom surgery.
If it does happen, puberty yet.
Yeah, if it does happen, which my understanding is it happens, if at all, very rarely.
Yeah.
No, the most that they do for children is like social transitioning, like just switching up your pronouns, all that stuff. And like
switch up the wardrobe.
Yeah, sometimes puberty blockers, but those are entirely reversible. All it does is just delay puberty. And if you decide that you don't want to transition, you just stop taking them and then you go through normal puberty.
Now, question. I'm pretty sure I'm fully through puberty. I am 22 years of age.
I would say probably, yeah. You have a full beard. I would say maybe this grown man with a beard and chest hair. I think he might be through with puberty.
I think I might be done with that. If I were to just start taking puberty blockers, like, what would happen? Like, just out of morbid curiosity, I'm just curious.
That's a good question. I don't know what would happen to like a fully grown person if they took puberty blockers.
Google. Hold on. You keep talking about what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, now I'm curious. Hey, Jarvis, what happens after taking puberty blockers? A person may start taking estrogen or testosterone hormones. These can cause irreversible changes to the body, such as the development of breasts or a deepening of the voice. Okay, so that's like, that doesn't answer my question.
You can't okay, it just seems like if you're transitioning, you start taking puberty blockers to be a middle ground.
Well, I think puberty blockers are more for people that are like still developing.
Okay.
I don't know how it works when you're older. It mostly happens with young people, just because that happens to be when you really figure out your gender.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's this movement of people that are like, yeah, I transed and now I want to untrans, and everyone should be not allowed to be trans, because I personally had a slightly less than optimal experience. So this person kind of went viral on Twitter. They were kind of the main character of like the trans side of Twitter for a little bit. So this is Casey Miller on Twitter. This is from October 9th. And I'm just going to play this like minute and a half video.
Hey y'all, so I got out of my haircut because my hair was driving me nuts. And I shaved it because I'm tired of watching my hair thin out, and it's less distressing if I shave it. So when I talk about being too far gone, I don't really know what else to call it. This is what I mean. This is how deep my voice is. It's gotten deeper over time, and it's settled. This is what I mean by hair loss. And it just keeps getting worse. It keeps thinning. It keeps receding backwards. And I'm not exactly sure that's coming back. Those are the main things when I talk about being androgenized to a point of no return. I really don't see those being fixable. So that's when I talk about, just kind of staying how I am, regardless of how I feel. That's why, just because I don't really see me personally being able to come back from what's happened so far. So I hope that's a little explanatory, just to kind of give a little bit more of a, let me reword that, just to kind of, talk about, give more awareness to the situation, kind of so you can see where I'm at. Words are not working well with me right now. I'm just gonna cut this off. There you go. You know, this is what happens when you give a woman testosterone. This is for 5 years. This is what happens, essentially. So, you know, that's it. Stay safe.
So, yeah, that's the video that they posted. And, you know, I would like to be respectful of this person's identity.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they're still male presenting. They're still going by he, him pronouns.
Is
However,
it because
okay, so
sorry,
I got out
video
of
started over. But I'm kind of just guessing here because they don't have their pronouns in their bio. That's why it's important to do that, especially if you're, for whatever reason, androgynous. Like if or just, you know, anyone, normalize it.
Yeah.
I have my pronouns in my bio. I don't think it's that hard to guess my gender, but I still do it because it normalizes that for everyone.
Hey, everyone, be respectful and don't be a dick.
Yeah, respect people's identities and don't purposefully misgender people. But I'm going to just refer to this person with male pronouns just because that seems to be how they are presenting. And, you know, I've looked a bit further into this person. Apparently, they are not deciding, last I saw, they're not deciding to fully detransition. It's more just that he's regretful of the process.
So, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I guess when you're just a guy, just born cis, I guess if you will.
Yeah.
And like, when you get to a certain age, you're like, my hairline's receding a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a male experience.
It's just what you do. That's just what happens. And am I like concerned about it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like definitely like, oh shit, that's happening. My dad had the same thing. I'm just lucky that I have like just generally thick hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna have amazing hair forever. Mark my words. You can quote me on that. You can clip this. You can post it in 40 years.
Yeah,
and we'll see who's laughing then.
Like, I know some dudes who are like 20 and who already have like a bald spot.
Yeah, didn't Patrick Stewart start going bald in his teens?
Yeah, pretty much. So I mean, it happens to guys, and I hate to be like you can't have your cake and eat it too, but that's kind of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to dive more into that. But I want to point out a tweet. Someone apparently looked through this person's profile and found a separate thread. I don't think it's part of this thread with the video, but they said basically it's the same thread where they said that they're not going to decide to detransition, but they were like, yeah, I just don't want to make women feel uncomfortable like those trans women. So it's like in the process of talking about your own journey, you somehow found a way to shoehorn in demonizing trans women.
Well, yeah, also, if you're doing like objectively nothing wrong, if you're just existing and someone's uncomfortable with that, that's their problem.
It is, yeah, that's their problem.
That's their issue that they have to figure out on their own time. That's not, don't take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all y'all.
Yeah. I saw someone on Twitter point out, I don't know if it's on Twitter, but I saw someone point out that going bald and then like making it someone else's problem is like the height of the male experience.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, that's when you know yeah. Cause like I've heard the saying like, I wouldn't be bald if you guys just stress me out so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone replied to the tweet with the video with like a surprised anime person. I don't know what it's from. But they said, me when testosterone, a hormone that causes baldness when I start taking it. And that kind of builds to my point of what did you expect?
Well, and that's the thing too. Like,
and keep in mind, I forgot to point this out. From my understanding, from what I've heard, is that this person, before they transitioned, were already going bald. This is like a genetic thing for them.
Okay. So that is the other thing too. Like, I'm not sure how it gets the complications with when you introduce testosterone into someone's body, but like sometimes genetically you just go bald.
Yeah.
Right? Like sometimes, like Patrick Stewart, right? Sometimes it's just a genetic thing.
Yeah.
For instance, my grandpa, he was fully gray haired by the time he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
Right? That sometimes it's just genetic. And I'm not sure. Granted, the rates are different if you're female. But if you take testosterone, it could. I mean, I'm not sure if it trips that part of your genetic code and causes you to go bald.
Supposedly, testosterone is known to
do that,
to contribute to like hair thinning and baldness.
Which also means that if you're bald, you have higher levels of testosterone
and are therefore more of a man.
Exactly, Andrew Tate.
And that
Fuck
means
him.
that you
He's
should
such a
respect
dick.
women less.
He's such a dick.
Oh, he's awful. We could do a whole checking in segment on him. I don't want to, but we could.
No, I think our public service should be to let this person's image die in oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I fully believe that. But yeah, but my whole point and what I wanted to bring up with this is like, you know, you should do anything and everything that you can to affirm your identity. You know, you should be allowed to, you know, transition, do whatever you want. You know, socially transition, go by different pronouns, you know, get top surgery, bottom surgery, whatever you want. Okay,
Yeah.
as long as you understand what you're going through and, you know, make
with
any medical decision, do it with make an informed decision.
I want to point out too how it's kind of silly that it's easier for someone to get top surgery than it is to remove a uterus.
Yeah,
I just think that's silly.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any strong opinions on that kind of stuff.
If I went to my doctor,
like doctors, I think would know more about it than I do, and if they're generally on board with it, then what am I going to say about it?
I mean, actually, I should probably backtrack on that one because top surgery is just like giving yourself tits.
Yeah,
as far as I know.
Yeah, top surgery, it's like a boob
hysterectomy,
job, basically.
A hysterectomy is like literally removing an organ. So,
yeah, a boob job doesn't make you infertile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's a really shitty boob job.
Yeah. Unless they like lace your tits with cyanide. I don't know.
We laced it with asbestos.
Yeah, it's to insulate heat.
Yeah, if you ever go out in the cold, you'll be.
Yeah. You know, my point is, do whatever you want to affirm your identity, but don't assume that you're going to be hot. I'm sure this person expected, like with many trans people, they thought that they were going to like, you know, transition female to male and just be like a twink, be an adorable little twink, and like just
what is that, by the way?
Like a Tom Holland type, you know, like an e-boy, you know?
Okay. Is a part of that being like super thin too?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I've been told by people in the gay community that I'm an otter.
Okay, don't take this as me just like jumping on the bandwagon, okay? I legitimately was formulating the sentence in my mind like, yeah, you would be an otter.
No, if I were an animal, I would be an otter. Like, I know that.
Yeah.
I give off ottery vibes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I get it. It's cool. It's not related to my sexual orientation.
Yeah. It's just vibes, man.
It just so happens that animal also has a stereotype in the fucking gay community.
Yeah, it's I put that in the same category as calling someone barrel chested.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I were gay, life would be easier.
Yeah.
Like, really.
More people would be correct about you.
More people would be correct about me, and also I would get laid a lot more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
I just want to know what this person expected. Like, if you just look at men generally, some of them are hot. A lot of them aren't. I'd say a vast majority are not. Did you really think the odds, with you already going bald, did you think the odds were in your favor that you would be like a twink with a full head of hair, and like everyone would think you're hot and fuckable.
Here's the thing too. They said they will help you transition your gender, right? They didn't say we're gonna make you hot.
Yeah, that's a whole separate surgery. You got to get like the Elon Musk hair plugs.
Yeah,
Which someone like tweeted a picture of Elon Musk, the PayPal one from like when he was younger, pre-hair plugs.
Oh yeah, no, he's like bald.
Yeah, someone tweeted that picture and they were like, "This is what 5 years of hormones does to you." Like the same thing that this person said about themselves.
Okay, say what you will about Elon Musk, because a lot of it supportable. Yeah, no, sometimes he's a shithead. Agreed. He can sometimes be really funny too.
Sometimes
he has his moments, like when he was talking about like the logistics of rocketry or making rockets, and he's like, it's so expensive to put anything in space. Like I think his little comparison was like, if you wanted to send like a ton of cocaine to Mars and sell it at the normal rate that cocaine goes on in the black market, like good quality cocaine, you would still be millions of dollars in the red.
And then he put a car in space.
And then he launched a car to Mars.
Yeah.
So
some of the things that Elon Musk says, some of the things he says, if it wasn't him saying it, it would be kind of funny.
Yeah, but also like he mentioned something like when he smoked weed in the Joe Rogan Experience. I guess because he has federal contracts, he had to do drug tests for like a month.
Oh.
After that, but like not just him, his entire company.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah, no.
Right? And so he mentions that and he's like, I honestly, yeah, if I had federal contracts, would I smoke weed? No, I wouldn't. Would I expect the DEA or the authorities in question to then drug test my entire company? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Right? So, like, when he was laughing about it, like, sorry, guys, I didn't see that coming. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have either. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's somewhat fair, especially that it's just weed.
Yeah, it should be.
Listen,
it should be decriminalized. It should be legalized everywhere in the country. It should be legalized.
And listen, people talk about the dangers of weed. Like the last time I smoked a joint, right? I only killed 3 people, and
I only had a little bit of that reefer madness.
Right. I 2 of them I ate their faces, but the third one I was able to refrain. So
yeah, Yeah, no, the worst thing that I've done while high is just overeat a little bit.
Dude, I have stretch marks now. Turns out you shouldn't for like 2 weeks get really high and like only eat chips and fruit snacks.
Yeah, it turns out that might not be the best for you.
Because now I have stretch marks and I'm not sure those go away.
I think they do. I think you have to rub coconut oil or something on them. I don't know.
Oh.
Something like that. Something like tightens it up. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor. You have to say it like that. I'm not a doctor.
No, I think
I look like a doctor.
I think it's great that this person is like so like self-unaware that they are having the experience they asked for. Like they signed up to be a man, and that's like a big part of being a man. And now they're like, no, not like that though.
But I mean, in their defense though, like even me being a cis man, right? I'm comfortable. I'm a man. I'm a dude. I know I'm a dude. I see my hairline kind of going back in the way that it does with my dad, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still kind of like, shit. Like, I get it. It's like the hair loss is something that I think kind of hits everyone the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah, but now you're not going to be like, well, it was a mistake for me to be a man. Like, you're not going to just go back on your entire gender because of some hair loss.
But also...
Which this person would have experienced anyway. by the way.
Right, but that's also because I am a cis man. Like I don't know anything different.
Yeah.
Right, and so like that's why. Like for instance, if I took a medication and it made me lose my hair, like yeah, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
Granted, I would not have to spend money on shampoo.
That is a good point. So, net win?
I mean, give some, take some, but I'm saving money on shampoo.
Yeah.
So, all I need is body. Dude, why aren't I shaving my head right now?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm sure razors are less
bald?
expensive than shampoo.
Do you think I would look good bald?
You can never tell until you do it.
I should just get a bald cap and test it out.
You could use one of those like face app things.
I could.
You could.
Thank you, Snapchat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I my sincere, like, I wouldn't say, I guess, condolences or sympathies to this individual.
Yeah.
Because I can't really imagine, transitioning to something else and then realizing it's not everything that you wanted, because it's like, how do you know that until you go there, right?
Right.
So, my sympathies.
I don't know this person's entire thought process, but it appears, looking from the outside, it appears like they were trying to become a very specific thing. They were trying to become a very specific like type of guy, and they were just
aren't
upset.
We trying to do that too, Alex?
Sure, yeah.
like, aren't we actively doing that?
Right.
And, I mean, granted, like, a part of it too is like,
but like, you get what I'm saying though, right? Like, they're going for this like specific type of guy that they want to be, right? And it's fine to want that, you know, do whatever you can to achieve that. But like, if you're transgender and you are upset that you're like, what, the wrong type of that gender, like don't blame it on the transition. Blame it on whatever else is the actual the factor involved. Like, if you're upset about being bald, then it's valid to be upset about being bald, but don't blame that on like the whole, like the entirety of being transgender.
Well, I feel like a part of it too is it's not, I don't see it as, personally, I don't see it as an issue with being transgender. It's just trying to figure out what works with you.
Yeah.
Right? So like, we try as manly men, we try things out stylistically. And sometimes you try something out and it just doesn't work with you. Right? It just doesn't fit. And a part of just the human experience is being like, oh, that is not going to work with me. I need to find something else. And so, and
that's a very personal thing, but
right.
This person is using that as like a stepping off point to be like, yeah, it's actually bad for people to go on hormones and to be transgender.
Well, I didn't see them saying that. I saw them saying, listen,
it's not especially like obvious with this video, but they do follow a lot of like anti-trans people, and they're like retweeting Buck Angel, who's like the poster boy for like being trans but also hating trans people.
But yeah, also when you're sad and when you're sad and you don't feel like yourself, you make a lot of questionable decisions.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I guess this is just me being, like, graceful with the person and just assuming the best of them. But, like, I what I heard them saying, just at least from what I've been shown, is if you transition, there are unforeseen consequences that can't be predicted, right?
Yeah.
And that's a fair statement, I think.
Yeah. And like, it's not that people don't know that.
Right, exactly. They're given, but like, when you don't feel like yourself and you're in your mind given a light at the end, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, by the way. But when you see a light at the end of the tunnel, sometimes it's hard to look into statistics like that and to actually weigh them.
Yeah.
But also, to people who are trans who may be listening, I support you. I support your decisions. Do what makes you happy. And if someone is judging you based on what you're doing to make yourself happy, fuck them.
Yeah.
Have sex with them. I mean, fuck them as in like they're assholes.
Fuck 'em.
But yeah,
Bend 'em
have
over.
sex with. Yeah, no, just be yourself, and love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And look at statistics too. Before making a big life decision.
Look, at the end of the day.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
So anyway.
Yeah.
We watched a movie this week.
Okay. One more thing about that clip. I feel like it's like a dad who doesn't understand what being gay is, trying to give like an emotional like support to their kid. Like that's what I hear in that. Like when you near and dear in your anyway.
Yeah. No.
Okay, yes, we watched
the first half of that sentence. Like made me I made a connection. Okay, I have another metaphor. Okay, this person, what they're going through. Like, oh, I transed and now I'm bald. Like men go bald. You got what you wanted. You got what you signed up for. It's like if you're a gay man and you're like, yeah, sometimes people want to fuck me in the ass. It's like, yeah, comes with the territory.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you signed up for.
I have a question though. So are there trans people? Like a guy
there are.
goes...
There's some of them out there.
Master comedian out here. But are there people who transition from male to female but still keep their sexual orientation female?
Like a man that likes women transitions to a woman that likes women?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, your gender and your sexual orientation are like two separate things.
I just, for some reason in my head, I thought like it would, I don't know. There's a lot I don't know.
They don't reverse everything.
I know. There's a lot I don't know. I'm willing to admit that and learn me something.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It's
yeah,
kind of undiscovered territory for most people.
Yeah, especially if you're a straight cis white man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sheltered little Catholic boy.
Oh, essentially. Like, I walk down the street and no one really stares at me. There's nothing here that is like, that is societally...
You are the default sim.
Yeah, I know. You play like Fallout 3 and I'm like the dude. I'm that guy.
Yeah, you make no changes, add nothing to the stats.
Like suboptimal. Like, I don't have a six-pack.
Yeah.
Like, I get winded if I'm running for more than 2 minutes. Like...
You change nothing about the character model. You add nothing to the stats, and you get Gavin.
Add a little bit of body fat. That's me. Easily confused, easily derailed.
Anyway, we watched a movie this week.
We watched a movie.
I watched it last night. I don't know when you watched
it last night as well.
It was fun. It was a good movie.
It was aight. I like that they didn't kill the kid that helped them.
Josh. Yeah, dude, he had drip.
Dude, he had some fucking drip.
He was kind of iced out. He was.
Although I'm sad that his love and his the girl that he like.
Yeah, Kate. She got her head shredded.
She got
fucking bread
destroyed.
sliced.
Also, that doesn't have the strength to cut your. Okay. I know I'm getting nitpicky, but it will not turn your head into jelly.
Yeah, more nitpicks later, but yeah, because I saw this movie last year and then rewatching it last night, I was like, oh, this is the part where she goes through like the meat slicer, which would make sense if it has to like slice through bone and stuff. But no, it was a bread slicer.
Yeah, you know how much
I guess if it's
bone
going
is in your
fast
sinuses?
enough, I don't know.
You know how thick your fucking sinuses are, bro?
Pretty thick.
It's a lot of shit there, man.
Yeah.
A lot of airways.
A lot of that. There's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of that going on there.
Yeah.
But
anyway, you liked the movie?
It was all right. I thought like parts of it were kind of stupid, like the whole rivalry of the high schools and Like,
It's realistic.
you think?
Yeah.
I think. Well, I mean,
Look,
given
you
the
were a city
pandemic-
boy, okay? I wouldn't expect you to get it. I
Would
wouldn't
you count
expect.
Marquette? Do you count Marquette as being like a big city?
It's maybe. I don't know.
I just gave out my location. Fuck.
Yeah,
God damn
are
it.
my exact coordinates, and then you list them off. That was the city.
Right. No, and now that I'm like, yeah, and I'm in
Well, like you
college,
went to
too,
school
like,
in the actual woods, and then you moved to a city. So like,
no, Alec, what? You've been to Marquette, motherfucker.
it's in the woods. Okay, the UP is entirely the woods. That's my understanding.
No, it's not, you shithead.
Anyway.
We got electricity.
Anyway.
Okay, actually, funny story. Side note, funny story. When I moved to Traverse City, and I said I was from Marquette, from the Upper Peninsula, people were like, "Oh, how was that?" Because they assumed we're all rustic, whatevers.
Yeah.
I would just jokingly say I was born in an igloo, and they believed me.
It's like that Jim Carrey bit where he talks about how people react when he says he's from Canada.
I knew. Also, Dwayne The Rock Johnson from Canada as well.
Wow. Very interesting. Anyway, we watched a movie.
No,
the like the small town rivalry stuff was actually pretty realistic. Like Benzie, the county that I grew up in, like Benzie schools and Frankfurt schools kind of like had that similar rivalry going. There was a real Michigan State kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's pretty similar too, actually, where like the town that I grew up in was like really poor, like not very well off. Meanwhile, Frankfurt was like super rich. You know, they had a lot more money. They just had like nicer shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Would you guys chant "Daddy's money"? Daddy's money.
Look, I wasn't very socially involved. Okay, I didn't participate
Same.
in any of like the sports or the rivalry or anything.
Yeah.
But I could absolutely see that. I could absolutely see that happening.
100%. I wasn't in high school when I was in Marquette, so I only was in Traverse City. So yeah, city boy. My school was preppy, like, yeah. But the thing is, I was in like a lot of I had a lot of special education when I was in high school, so I was really kind of out of the loop with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess when I look at that and I see like all this high school like shenanigans, I'm like, I feel a little divorced from it.
Yeah, no, I kind of relate to that.
I'm like, that wasn't me.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of high school stuff in high school.
I didn't grab a lot of ass.
I spent a lot of time at home.
Yeah.
I went to class and then I went home. That was kind of the extent of my high school experience.
Well, you know, the funny part too was I spent a lot of time at home, but I lived less than a minute away from the school.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I could have, if someone was like, "Hey, you should come and do this," I could have. But I was either stressing out about academics or actively working on academic stuff, like getting homework done and trying to like keep my grade boat afloat, or like stressing about the SAT.
Yeah.
And like wondering if I shit on the SAT, like, will colleges even accept me?
Right.
Like, that was like my thing. I just didn't have either the brain power or the time to worry about like social stuff.
Yeah. But that's all to say, I think this movie is pretty realistic with how it, you know, portrays like
Fairly.
like the high school experience is pretty like accurately portrayed, like with the school rivalry and stuff. Everyone generally acts and talks like a young person. I like that.
I'd say so.
You kind of really appreciate people talking like people when so many movies like are like written by like 40-year-old people trying to write high schoolers.
I think, oh shit, you know what? I think I talk like I'm scripted by a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
I think I talk like I'm scripted, and shit, maybe that's why I didn't think the dialogue was that good.
Me personally, I talk like an Aaron Sorkin script.
when I decide to communicate with another person,
I speak
of my
in very
caste,
broad, general, political statements. And
right?
I say our democracy, stuff like that.
Exactly. By the way, Howard Dane, please come on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I had mentioned this when we were on the phone. I think it's funny that the witch makes a distinction between being deceased and legally dead.
Yeah.
Like they have like a fucking heart monitor, and they're like, "Yep, 0 beats, flatlined, dead. I'm done here. Peace out, guys."
Yeah, that's great.
I'll be in my grave if anybody wants to trickle some blood on me.
Yeah, that's great that the witch has a hard line on like what counts as death. It's just when your heart stops.
Right.
And like
you
I don't know
should've-
how much this witch can absorb like the outside world. Like I don't know how much information this lady is getting, right?
Yeah.
But like if she gets any information at all, like you'd think she'd get some kind of information on our medical advancemance.
Right.
You know, like she'd know what brain death is.
Yeah. And I find it funny that they decide to fill this girl up with a bunch of fucking like different meds that could have different interactions with each other that are hard to like map out.
No, it's okay. They got it
fix.
down to an exact science. The one girl is a professional drug dealer.
I call that a freelance pharmacist.
She's a freelance pharmacist. She's amateur big pharma.
Amateur big pharma. But sovereign citizen pharmacist. But I like how they like fill her up with a bunch of different meds. By the way, they're in a pharmacy. Like it's not like they don't have opiates.
Yeah.
But they could have easily just like taken a bunch of
well, they needed the exact right because like you can so easily just kill yourself with any medication by overdosing, but they needed like the exact combination so that they'd be able to like bring her back with the EpiPen.
Well, that's the thing though. They have a specific medication that's designed to save you if you're on the brink of death from an opiate overdose.
Yeah. But
I forget what it's called.
Narcan.
Narcan, yeah.
Consider this
Narcan.
though. It's a movie, and they got to do dramatic stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I'm such a nitpicky person with this kind of stuff too.
No, I totally get it. I had a bunch of nitpicks too. My issue with that part of the movie is like it all makes sense to me as like someone who doesn't know anything about drugs. Like it makes sense. Yeah. Like you overdose, make your heart stop, then you use the EpiPen to make your heart go again. Like I get that. I can wrap my mind around it. If there's any part of it that doesn't make sense, I can kind of suspend my disbelief. But then when they're like, oh no, we dropped these pills, instead of going back to get them, we're just going to dunk your head in this water and drown you. An entirely different form of death, right?
Yeah.
Like drowning doesn't just make your heart stop. It fills your lungs with water. Like your brain will probably stop functioning before your heart stops.
Let me say this too. Like when you drown, you consciously inhale water.
Yeah.
Because your body is so starved for oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, it's like one of the scariest like ways to die too.
I mean, actually, when you're on your way out, supposedly it's like one of the most peaceful ways to die. It's just getting there is the fucking terror.
Yeah, it was a big yikes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it. But
no,
anyway,
I wouldn't either.
So then they switch to drowning her. Okay, whatever. But then like the EpiPen still brings her back. They just jab her with the EpiPen, and like what? That cures drowning? She has to like cough up surprisingly little water.
It was like a lot of foam.
It was mostly foam. Like surprisingly little water in her lungs.
Yeah.
No long-term consequences. No trouble breathing because of all the water in her lungs.
No, like stomach ulcers from all the medications you literally.
No brain damage.
Hucked down. No brain damage. I want to mention something else too. Like when you're legally dead, there is still that's like your heart's gone. Heart's not pumping, right? And you're unconscious. Your brain has enough oxygen in it to keep firing, right? It's still a living thing. Now, when you're on a drug overdose, you still have oxygen in your system. Now, when you drown, you can't get CO2 out of your bloodstream. It's not possible. So you're just suffocating yourself with CO2.
Yeah.
Which is a quicker way of killing your brain.
Yeah, that's why I say your brain would stop before your heart stops. So, like, there's no saving her at that point if she's brain dead. Oh, never mind. Just stab her head with an EpiPen. I guess that would cure it.
I guess so.
I guess this takes place in a world where EpiPens are filled with, like, literal magic.
Literal magic.
Literal, actual Harry Potter magic.
Well, and so remember what I said about opiates earlier? Just, like, huck down a bunch of opiates and have some Narcan on hand?
Yeah.
Like, I say that, but also to contradict myself, pharmacies keep, at least CVS pharmacies, keep their opiates in a safe that only the pharmacist knows the code to.
Yeah, but
and
keep
is
in mind
timed.
this does take place pre 9/11.
Actually, you know what? I forgot about that bit because I thought it took place in like 2021. I didn't know it was like a 90. I was like, why do they have such old cars? That's so weird.
The title is Fear Street Part 1, 1994. So, you know.
Kurt Cobain had been dead then, but for a couple months.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury was dead for about 3 years.
Wow. Carl Sagan had still 3 more years to go.
I was not born yet, so you could say I was dead.
My parents were trying for my sister at that point in time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I think this movie has a respectable amount of gore. You know, I do want to amend what I said last week. I said that this is good, like PG-13 horror. It is R-rated. It's a bit gorier than I remember, but I do think it's
horny as fuck. Horny as fuck.
Oh yeah,
too.
it is horny as fuck. But you know, being R-rated, like a lot of stuff is like R-rated technically, but because of the MPAA and you know all the politics of that, a lot of stuff that like is a bit more suitable for younger people gets R-rated for whatever reason. But yeah, I think this is something that you could watch with like a younger sibling if they're like, I don't know, like 15 or so.
Oh yeah,
like
I would go as young as 12.
Yeah, like if it's like a mature 12-year-old and they can handle a bit of gore. You know? Like
don't take that line out of context, by the way.
Yeah, if it's a mature 12-year-old, then go 12. For it. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, accidentally breaking out libertarian talking points. But no, I think it's respectable levels of gore. You know, like there's some there if you like, you know, that type of horror. But you know, a lot of it is just character stuff. You know, you really care about everyone in the story. It makes it sad when they die.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I hate that the kid came so close. She's just going to Pound Town.
Yeah.
Right. And he looks and she's head is gone. And I'm like, pussy's still warm though.
No. No. That is No.
I'm joking.
Anyway,
that was a joke.
That
was a joke.
That's horrible. Cannot condone that.
You can cut that one out.
Cannot condone that.
Wait, hold on. Never mind. Anyway, I feel bad, especially.
But no, they really do drive home the point that like no one is safe in this trilogy.
Oh, for sure.
Like anyone could just not make it to the end of the movie.
Right. So I take it that the girl who like was possessed by the witch or whatever, like she dead now, right?
I don't know. We'll find out next week.
Yeah, but so I'm not. The one thing I found interesting was like the girl was pretending to be straight, from what I could tell.
Yeah.
Right. Because she had conservative parents who didn't like that.
Yeah, her mom was like conservative, homophobic, and I don't know what exactly the reason was that she switched school. Oh, I guess her parents got divorced and she had to move. But yeah, she went to the school and she's like trying to start over, just like pass as straight. But I think the representation, the LGBT representation in this movie is pretty good. It's decent.
I thought that was like I've never thought about that really. And I'm not sure if it's because like I think
what do you
lot
mean?
Of guys, for like a lot of straight guys, it's like I cannot stomach the idea of fucking another guy.
Yeah.
Nothing against them. I just No, you.
Well, like some
Right.
people are just bisexual.
Right, exactly. But like, I'm straight as an arrow, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's no.
Yeah.
So like, I guess in my mind, when I mean, yeah, she could be bi.
Yeah, that's kind of how I read it. She could also just be like undercover. You don't
That's
like
true.
you don't know, but it's also not important enough that like they need to address it. And I respect
Yeah.
that.
Okay, for
You
sure.
know, not every like LGBT story needs to be like Love, Simon. Doesn't always need to be
Okay.
about like battling homophobia. Like it can be there,
And-
like that is part of the experience, but it doesn't have to be just primarily about that. And that's
For
where
sure.
that's
And-
where this falls, and I respect that.
And like to that point too, and something that I'm trying to like kind of learn about and like inform myself on is that, especially with stories surrounding like the LGBTQ community, it doesn't have to fall along like straight black and white lines. No pun intended with straight black and white. Anyway, where you can have someone who is actually bi that is dating a person of the same sex,
Mm-hmm.
and then go on to date someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah,
Kind
kind of comes with the territory.
Right, exactly. Because I guess in my mind, being, I guess relatively sheltered, raised Catholic,
Sheltered
white
Catholic boy.
I'm like, I just, my brain doesn't even go there.
Yeah,
It- not
yeah. A lot
out
of
of,
people
like,
just
not-
don't understand it. They're like, "Good, just pick one." You know?
Well, yeah, and I'm not even like, I won't even presume to know that, right? I won't, like, I'm very unimposing with my views, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or try to be, at least. I don't feel like I have the right to tell someone what they should or should not be feeling.
Right.
And it's just something that like doesn't occur to me when it comes to stories surrounding the LGBTQ community. Not out of prejudice or bias, just out of like, oh, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just found that like something that I could like kind of dissect in my mind, and also informative. So yeah.
Yeah. So which part of that
Yeah.
didn't you think of?
When she goes to a different school and starts dating a guy.
Oh yeah.
In my mind, I thought she was like just gritting her teeth through the entire relationship.
Yeah, it might be that. It might be that she's bisexual. Either way, she clearly
Right.
isn't that into him. He's just kind
Yeah,
of
he's kind of a dick.
yeah. He's like her beard, you know, like she's just
Yeah.
trying to pass.
Exactly.
So it could be either one of those. But I respect
also,
that. I respect that they don't like take away from the rest of the story to like explain to the audience what's going on. Because like
Yeah.
you know, so like Love, Simon type movies are good. You know, it's good to have those. But sometimes you just happen to be trying to break a witch's curse while being gay, and like it's just
Sometimes,
kind of
like,
a side
you just happen
thing.
to be gay, and the witch is fucking with your business, and you're
Yeah.
like, I gotta take care of something here.
Yeah, no,
Um,
like imagine if you were in that situation, right? And you're like trying to break a witch's curse. You know, you're trying to find the severed hand or whatever, and the person
Yeah.
next to you is like, "Wait, so you like men and women? How does that work?" And
does
then
that
you have to
work?
take
It's like,
12
hey.
minutes of the runtime to explain.
What else did I like? Yeah. So, the main character, I like how
Dina.
there's Dina.
Yeah.
I'm just terrible with names with anything, so yeah. I
Yeah.
would, if I saw their face, I'd be like, that's the main character. Like, I know
Right.
who the main character is. I like how there's like, she's also kind of flawed too, where
Yeah.
she's like angry and heartbroken, right? Because she still obviously loves her previous partner.
Yeah. Real stuff.
And real stuff. But I like how the flaw and like in her logic is that she's still holding it against her that she went to a different district and was
Yeah.
sent to a different high school.
Yeah. Stuff
like-
that she couldn't really control.
That's not under her control at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just found that interesting because there was a lady in Texas who got like a month or something in prison for sending her kids to like a good school that wasn't in their district.
Weird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just think that's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just throwing that in there.
That's a weird. That's a lot to unpack. I want to look into that later.
But yeah, really good movie.
I like the
just-
kid, the Josh, the little brother, We mentioned him
Yeah.
earlier. Incredible,
Fucking love
immaculate
him.
drip.
Dude, fucking love him so much.
Yeah, he's got that like Neil deGrasse Tyson vibe, but in a good way.
Yeah, not in like a condescending like
Not in like a interrupts every single sentence to explain astrophysics kind of way.
but it's like not even in the context. It's just
Actually, a supernova is when you
hypernova. I love how like they're trying to get food from the vending machine.
Oh yeah.
And he just fucking knows.
That was one of my nitpicks. He like does the
That's just some-
Konami code or whatever, and then the
Dude.
vending machine. That's definitely not a real code. There's no way. But
Dude,
I did
that's
like
some
that
big-
moment.
That's some big dick energy right there.
Incredible. And he stands there,
Dude.
he crosses his arms like, yeah, that just happened.
Nah, that
and
just
Simon
happened.
still has the nerve to call him a nerd.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
I just got you a bunch of free candy. Are you shitting me right now?
Yeah.
Really? That's what you're gonna do. All right.
Dude, Simon
okay.
had drip too. Especially when he was like wearing just the cardigan, the sweater after they changed the clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, and I just love that, like, dude, how like fucking hesitant he is when they're in the bathroom. And
Oh yeah.
she's
During
like,
the sex
"Can you help
scene.
me?"
During the
Did
three
you think-
simultaneous sex scenes.
Did they go to Pound Town?
He went to Pound Town. Remember,
Did
he was
he?
like, "You guys went to Pound Town?"
But she
Me
said they didn't pass
too.
first. No, like she said that they only got to first base.
Yeah. No,
Is that what?
it's close enough.
Is he of consenting age?
I do not know how old he is supposed to be. Like the actor that played him, he was like 18, I think, when they filmed this. He was born in 2002. This came out in 2021. So he would have been like 18 when it was shot, 19 when it came out. But he's clearly playing like the little brother of like a high school senior. So
I wonder how that's gonna like age.
yeah, I don't
If
know.
this is,
I don't.
like,
My
'cause
initial
remember-
thought was he's supposed to be like 14, but you could be generous and say like 16.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. Remember in Greece when they're like, "Tell me more, tell me more."
Did she put up a fight? Yeah.
Right. It's like I can't blah, blah, blah. In a world that's becoming more like person needs to consent. This needs
Yeah.
to be consensual.
Good
right?
stuff.
Good stuff. Stuff that I agree with.
No, it's too woke. It's too woke when you don't do pedophilia.
Shut up, Andrew Tate. Who asked him?
It's
Who
too
asked
woke.
you? I wonder if people are gonna like watch this movie in like 2040 something and be like, wait,
I think they will.
did she just fuck like a kid?
Yeah. You could be generous and say, because it's kind of ambiguous, you could say there's like just like a 1 to 2 year age difference. You know, maybe she's
Okay.
like a 17-year-old senior and he's like a 15 or 16-year-old
Middle schooler?
freshman or sophomore. I don't know.
But like, damn, dude, when she's just like, "You're gonna see me," and he's just like, "Oh, dude, feel that." Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He said this. Wait, hold on. He said this.
I'm gonna come.
Oh.
Since this is like 1994, like I'm happy that she got to experience BBC before she died.
Yeah, being that this
And
is
by
pre
being-
9/11.
Yeah, I mean, the British Broadcasting System or British Broadcasting Center, I think.
British Broadcasting
it?
Channel.
British Broadcasting Channel. I'm happy that he probably has some plug that allows him.
He has his TV
to-
license.
He has his TV license. He invented fucking VPNs, and so he
Yeah.
just went on there and he's like, "Look there's other countries that do this too."
Before I
he
unlock this
showed-
vending machine for you, let me tell you about today's sponsor, NordVPN.
NordVPN. Oh my god. No, I'm just, like, I don't know how many, like, white girls or fucking black guys back in 1994. Also, given that I was born in 2000, I would have never known that. So
I don't know.
I don't know.
It'll forever be a mystery to us. I don't know.
Unless I ask someone from back then. Which is kind of a weird pointed question.
I have one more nitpick before we wrap this up. So, like, why don't they go to a bigger town?
Yeah.
Like the small town cops, they're like, I don't believe you. And then later on they see stuff's going on, whatever.
Well, that one cop knew what was going on and just did nothing about it.
Sheriff good, more like Sheriff motherfucking evil. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe we'll find out more about him.
Alex.
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to find out more about him.
Like, he knew what was happening. He was aware of it.
Yeah. I just, like, I don't mean to be like, I don't mean to be like, they should have just done this, and this. And I would have killed the monster. I would have just fought the guy off. But, like, maybe consider going to a bigger city and just being like, hey, look, cards on the table. This is what's going on.
Here's what's happening. Here's
a rag with some of this girl's blood on it. You don't have to touch it. I'll just set it here and just look at what happens.
Just watch this.
Just look at what happens. How about this? We'll put it out on the sidewalk and look at what happens. Okay, you see these reanimated people coming. Shoot it. Try shooting it. Try it. Try it, and then see what happens. And then they're like, okay, I'm a cop. I love shooting people, so they go for it. And then they get like a nice clean headshot. And then the razor lady's like, hey, that's smart. I'm gonna get back up now. And then the cop is like, oh, okay, so this is clearly something supernatural. Let's get the National Guard involved. Then one thing leads to another, and we get a tactical nuke.
Like, get a tactical nuke.
I just feel like you could bring in a bit more help.
Like witches versus tactical nukes.
It's not even the kind of thing where like the evil entity wants to like hide. Like, it's pretty like out in the open.
Yeah, for sure.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark does the same thing. The movie adaptation based on the beloved children's book series. It like has a similar concept where the stuff from the books come to life or whatever, and the cops are like, I don't believe you, and then they die.
Yeah.
That frustrates me. I hate it when movies do that.
I would want to get the rag of the blood. Just get a tampon. I don't care. Anyway, I would get some form of blood from them, and I would go and I would just walk up to them and be like, like what you said, here's what's going on. And they wouldn't believe me. I would just look at them, smile, and be like, watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they come, and then the bad guys come, and it's like, oh shit, an axe murderer. I'm gonna shoot him because I love shooting people. Then it's like, oh, this is clearly something supernatural.
Go to Detroit, find the busiest hospital, go there, and the monsters can kill a lot of people, but not everyone. And by that point,
what a plan!
At that point,
what an amazing plan.
There's gonna be an armed guard there, right? Like, there has to be. It's Detroit,
I guess.
Right. So
I feel like maybe a hospital isn't the best place to run this experiment.
You know what? That's it. Who's texting? Washington Post.
Anyway, I'd say best movie ever.
I would say, it's one of
far from the worst movie ever. At least,
horny as fuck though.
Oh yeah. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate a nice horny movie. It's not even a horny movie; it just has some horny bits, and I appreciate that
for sure. Yeah.
It
was good.
I would say sure, it was made in 2021. That's pretty recent, and it may take place in 1994.
Yeah.
So next week, Fear Street Part 2? Sure. All right. And we'll continue our streak of Halloween movies. Then after that...
recommendations of the week.
Knows? Yeah, I have a couple of recommendations this week. I talked about this in the other episode that I did this week, the Gamer News with Jake. But Werewolf by Night, Marvel Halloween special, just released on Disney Plus like last week, I think. It's pretty good. It's like less than an hour long. It's all a self-contained narrative, self-contained story. It's kind of like a homage to those old like black and white monster movies.
I mean, homage.
It's a homage.
It's a homage.
This program is a homage.
I knew you were gonna say that. Get out of my head.
It's a good Halloween program.
Oh man,
I really like it. You know, it's all black and white, but parts of it, there's like a bloodstone MacGuffin.
In this program,
that's red. It's cool.
In this homage program, are there robots?
There are no robots in this homage program, unfortunately. But yeah, it's good. Watch it if you have Disney Plus. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I guess look on the Pirate Bay, loser. I can't condone that.
Fucking go to Home Depot.
Yeah. Go find some other program to watch.
At Home Depot.
Yeah. My other recommendation, Halloween's coming up. You know, costumes are simultaneously cheap and expensive. I don't like the store-bought stuff. I like making them. So, you know.
Make your own thing.
Yeah. It's a fun experience. I would recommend it. I'm making a Spider-Man costume.
I'm going to be the same thing I was last year, which was fucking Spock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be a difficult one to put together. You got to find a blue shirt.
I have the outfit.
Nice.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right, he's getting up. He's getting it. Is he coming back? Who knows?
He's back. Ready? Ready for this? Ready for this shit?
Yo, he's got his cake right in the camera. Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah. It's like simple and it's warm. And it's medium size.
And before Gavin gets back, I will briefly mention, I talked about this in the other episode we did this week.
Oh no, he's back! You can't finish!
Walkabout Mini Golf, the mini golf VR game that I talk about a lot, has a new course. It's based on Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I think they're doing a trilogy of courses based on Jules Verne novels. It's cool. It's good stuff. It's a $3 DLC for $15 game.
Wait, didn't you tell me that Fallout 3 is just free on Steam?
On Epic, the Epic Games launcher.
Oh.
But yeah, it's going to be, thank you for reminding me though. From the 20th to the 27th, Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition will be free on Epic. So, you know, if that interests you at all, download the launcher if you don't already have it. And you click on it, you click get, it just adds it to your account. There's no downside. You don't have to sign up for email marketing or anything. There's literally
a free game.
It's literally just a free game. There's no downside. If I had to summarize it, God, where is it? There it is.
Guess what?
It grows the economy.
When you buy Fallout 3.
Benefits
or not buy,
everybody.
just claim the free copy.
Hurts nobody.
You know what I'd like
Epic
to
does
do?
a lot of free games. GTA 5 was free like last year.
Really?
Yeah, they have a lot of good free stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right.
It's just
I
good.
have a recommendation for those of you who enjoy building stuff in Minecraft. Just get into architecture. It's fun when you are in Minecraft, and especially a survival world.
Yeah.
And you make something that's like not just for use, but because it's really pretty.
Yeah.
And like massive, and you just like, it just brings so much value to your Minecraft world that I just love it. So
do you have
recommend
Java
that.
Edition?
I do. Now I do.
You do?
On my computer. Yeah.
I'm going to have to give you the IP for my Minecraft server.
And we can make.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I think that's the show.
I think that's the show.
We made it out in under 2 hours.
Yeah,
Incredible.
man. We speed ran this.
Wow.
This mother.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of What Did We Just Say.
Thank
if you
you.
liked it, then like it. If you comment, then comment. And if you subscribe, that's good. If you liked any part of it, comment something nice and leave us a good review, preferably. If you disliked anything, keep that to yourself, okay? and subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes. Turn on notifications, turn on automatic downloads. Subscribe to the Clips channel. I'm trying to upload more there. I'm putting out more, shorter, easy to make clips. The clip where Jake and I talked about the Mario trailer from the other episode we did this week, that's up on the Clips channel, so check that out if you didn't listen to the last episode. It's good. We had some good analysis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gavin, did you see the Mario trailer?
I saw pieces of it.
Yeah, Chris Pratt is there, and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Mario." That was his Mario voice.
Remember when he was just like, he's like, "Hey guys, you should watch the Mario movie."
My Mario voice is like nothing you've ever seen before.
Heard before.
And it's just his voice.
It's just him talking.
It's just him talking. So goofy.
Am I gonna watch it? Nah.
Yeah, I might. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. Follow me on social media. Don't follow Gavin anywhere.
I just want there to be another Star Trek movie.
They should make some good Star Trek movies. I don't know if the J.J. Abrams ones were good, but I know that they're very divisive. So maybe something not like that.
I'll explain it after this show.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, don't follow me on anything.
Yeah, and I will leave you with this.
Stop.
I'll leave you with this very inspirational message.
So the best way to get something done, if you hold near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.